This week's episode is brought to you by Instill. Instill is an ST Biologicals bactericide and fungicide foliar spray effective against bacteria, algae, snails, and fungi for fruit and vegetable crops. Visit stbiologicals.com to learn more about this and other regenerative ag products. Hello, and welcome to the ST Biologicals Soil Speaks podcast. This week, we'll take a close look at some foliar feeding case studies. Let's get started. Proof is always needed for farmers and ranchers to consider changing management practices. Foliar feeding isn't a change, but what you use as a foliar spray may be different. These case studies look at pomegranate fruits, dryland corn, and alfalfa. They show the benefit of integrating specific types of foliar feedings in these cropping systems. The size of fertilizer particles and the carrying agent, usually water, matters for the absorption of nutrients. A study in Egypt has shown that nanoparticles increased antioxidants, anthocyanin, pigment, flavanol, and total phenols in pomegranate fruits. The nutritional profile of the fruit was also higher. Dryland corn in south-central Minnesota was treated with a nanotechnology product called NanoCS, resulting in a yield increase of 12 to 14 bushels per acre. Nanoparticles have tiny pores that attract nutrient ions. Those nanoparticles with their payloads of nutrient ions are smaller than a drop of water and easily move through the leaf cell wall. That means less fertilizer is needed for the same impact. Whenever you need fewer inputs and you achieve the same yield or more, your ROI goes up. In Minnesota, the ROI for one test field was $4.99 per acre per dollar invested, and in another field, it was even greater, $6.27 per acre per dollar invested. Nanotechnology isn't the only way to increase the efficiency of your inputs. Sometimes you need to change what inputs you're using. How can organic and biological inputs have an impact on plant health? Organic and biological inputs are in plant available forms. They're also food for the microbial community that live on plant surfaces above and below ground and in the soil. When you feed the microbes, the relative forage quality, RFQ, of alfalfa is enhanced. The digestibility is greater, and you need less feed for livestock. Using regenerative farming practices with little soil disturbance increased beneficial microbe diversity, and that benefits plant health. Soybean meal is a feed for livestock for protein and other nutrients. Using an organic and biological foliar treatment, the crude protein increased over the control field by 3.95% on a dairy farm in central Minnesota. Whenever you're able to increase the digestibility and nutrient content of your livestock feed, your animals eat less. That's always good for your ROI. ST Biologicals worked with a dairy farm in central Minnesota on a foliar feeding program for their alfalfa fields. They found that from the start, the increase in nutritional value also increased farm profit. The farmer realized an ROI on the alfalfa field of $2.65 per acre per dollar invested, based on the RFQ improvement, and an ROI of increased protein value of $4.17 per acre per dollar invested. These improvements resulted in a total ROI of $6.82 per dollar invested. The farmer also reported they are feeding less corn and soybean meal because of the increased forage quality. Conventional farming practices using foliar feeding waste a lot of chemistry, and that means money down the drain. Working with naturally occurring microbial populations and using nanotechnology saves money and improves outcomes. Changing farming practices isn't an all-or-nothing proposition. Sometimes you start with a few changes in the types of inputs to make all inputs more efficient. Converting a few acres to regenerative from conventional gives you a chance to see what works and what doesn't on your specific operation. Foliar feeding is one tool in your multi-tool ag box. By itself, it isn't the complete answer, but it does begin to answer the question, how can we farm with nature and be profitable? At ST Biologicals, we know every agricultural operation is unique. Your specific problems have customized solutions, and we're here to help you find them. Visit us at stbiologicals.com. When soil speaks, we listen. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.